Is the stock market dying? We were having a little argument offline about whether this market is going in the trash. We see crypto is dead, software stocks are dead. Um, Everybody sees Ethereum and Bitmine. We're going to start a GoFundMe for Tom Lee. We think he's going to need a little help with things over the next few days. But yeah, I mean, the market just feels like it stinks to high heaven. Palantir just had these huge earnings, and then it went into the dumpster, which made Derrick very happy, of course. AMD disappointing guidance. So I'm going to start with you, JR. Is the stock market dying, or is this just a little blip on the radar?
I don't care.
Here we go. Don't care. He has to be too important to answer a goddamn question straight.
I have back pain from all the money we're making every day. The money bags are so heavy. I think I have a hernia, dude.
Oh my god!
I don't care.
That's the right answer. I don't care.
I'm being humorous. I don't know. Okay, so here's the deal. I think the secular trend, the secular bull trend, is intact. I think the market is freaked out about a bunch of things that we've been talking about every week. We are, volatility is increasing in the SPX. We're seeing higher the up-down volume looks terrible. As far as market internals, your upside down up-down volume is definitely telegraphing a 10 to 12% correction. You have divergence in your oscillation on the daily and hourly, which is also clearly showing that the market is most likely going to break this recumulative structure and more than likely go lower for a little bit. But this is a very difficult market to short. There's only so much time where you can put in new highs. The term is called weak high in the SPX, and not have the auction reprice the market lower. But at the same time, the economy is strong. A lot of the majority of earnings have been really strong. You have the Dow Jones Transportation Average really strong. You have industrials and the Dow super strong. Financials are not weak. There's no reason for this market to, end a secular bull trend here. I do think we may have a technical correction of maybe 8, 10, 12%. But to say that the bull market is over, the longer term bull trend is over, I think is, and I'm hearing people say that all the time, is insane. The big issue, of course, is the software stocks are in the garbage. You have a total panic about the OpenAI story. The Oracle refinancing has been a real issue, and there's a lot of people that are thinking that tech is a lower price and we're in need of a correction. I don't think it's anything to freak out about. I welcome the volatility. I think it's a source of never-ending intraday opportunity. If you're in the right swing trades, you're doing great. If you're in the wrong swing trades, you're probably finding a whole new set of religions to convert to right about now because it's been unforgiving. So that's the long version of I don't care.
Yeah, I think that the sector discussion is interesting. Our friend Boston Trader pointed out RSP hitting all-time highs today. I mean, energy's doing great. Industrials are doing great. Okay, Sami, on to you. So, Sami, you said that there is risk of the broader trend breaking. So, what do you mean by that?
I mean, look at the weekly. They have to pull up the charts. Look at the weekly chart of the SPY and the weekly chart of the Qs, the NASDAQ, and you'll see the double top on the weekly chart. And so if we just close red this week, today is Wednesday, so we still got 2 more days. If we follow through to the downside, that's going to create a double top on the weekly chart, and I think we'll head lower. The thing to me is, I don't know for sure that the market has stopped. Really, there is no way to know. Look at the Dow. Like you said, the Dow Jones might be hitting all-time high today. So it's a very, very weird market. But that's my point, is that there's something about the market, something fishy, something, I don't know what it is, that's making me think this is likely the top. We see Bitcoin completely crashed, right? When was the last time? I'm not saying Bitcoin doesn't crash. When was the last time Bitcoin dropped 50% and the market continued higher? It always precedes a drop in the market. As far as I know, it's always preceded the drop in the market. Look at gold and silver going crazy. for some reason. Look at the lack of follow through during the pandemic from March of 2020 through the end of 2021. So almost a year and a half. I mean, almost 2 years. I only started to like feel things were starting to get difficult in November, December of 2021. And I'm like, why are things getting so difficult? It's because the market was topping. I just didn't know it at the time. So right now, there's no follow through on almost anything. So there is something fishy about the market. I don't know if it's the top or not. Only time will tell. But I think that's what I'm preparing for. That's what I'm preparing for. The only part that doesn't make sense to me is, you look at the Dow. Those are the top 30 companies. Look how bullish that is. Insane. But yeah, I'm preparing for a top in the market. I called the SanDisk short today in the newsletter, and that's going to be a core short, a long-term short. Somebody asked me actually just before I got on the mic on the live stream if they should cover it. I said no, that's a long-term short. So I think we're at a top, at least in certain sectors, but I think probably the overall market is topping as well. That's my take.
Yeah. Okay. And Derrick, on to you quickly. Do you think there's signs of real danger here?
I think that there's mixed signals from the indexes depending on what you look at. The Qs are starting to get really broken to me. The SPYs I would describe as like neutral bearish, but I need to see them to start to really break yesterday's low and last Thursday's low to start to confirm that. And then the January low is the really key spot I'm watching on the downside. I think if the January low begins to trigger, you start to go into more of that 7 to 12% correction that JR was talking about. But there's mixed signals because look at the RSP, the equal weighted S&P is breaking highs. So it's certainly a stock picker's market, and the hallmark here is dispersion. And the dispersion is what's creating all the opportunity. It's the fact that I can look at software right now. I can look at that IGV as in this massive bear market. I'm having the types of conversations on software stocks right now that I usually have when the market itself is down 17%, where we're talking about like, wow, usually in a big bear market, there's an opportunity to be able to buy some really good companies. Correlations increase. They sold everything off. There's usually an opportunity to come in and even like from an investment perspective and buy some really good companies at discounted prices. I'm having that conversation on software companies right now. At the same time, consumer staples, look at this 4-day move in consumer staples to the upside. Look
at Pepsi, bro.
it's a consumer staples don't trade like this. This is a massive move for how consumer staples are trading. So there's massive dispersion on the market right now that's creating a ton of opportunity while we're waiting to find out what happens with the bigger picture. I am expecting some of these downside levels in the S&P to break, even if it hasn't happened yet, because we're going into some more bearish seasonality here as we get more towards mid-February. And I think that positioning is very full. That Bank of America bear indicator I keep referencing is all the way over on the far right, which is a counter signal to the downside, but it's not a timing mechanism. It's not a timing mechanism, but tends to have very high accuracy rate. So, I think that we're at that point. But at the same time, just from a mean reversion perspective, I can start to be looking at some software for bounce back trades off of extreme downside extension as they begin to, some of them capitulate, especially for some really good companies, while trying to short consumer staples at the same time for literally the opposite reason. In a real bear market, correlations will increase, and we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, Goldman called the bottom in the software today, by the way.
So did I.
Yeah. I will say this. I am the ultimate contrary indicator, and today was the first day I started deep diving on all the stats on software. So over the last 12 months, SMH is up 60%, software is down 20%. So there's like an 80-point dispersion between the semis and the software. Now, from a bigger picture perspective, and I'll throw this out to everybody, are people just looking at the wrong stocks because everybody's always waiting for, like, is this the NVIDIA bottom? Is this the Palantir bottom? When reality is the action's in, like you guys said before, Pepsi, Exxon, Chevron, all this like boring stuff is doing really well. So should people be making a paradigm shift in opening up their minds to different sectors and just like say not everything is about AI.
I mean,
You
no
mean
doubt.
doing their job? It's called doing your job, by the way. As a trader, what you described is called doing your job. Just so we're clear.
But I think that's an interesting way to put it, because I think in a lot of cases people are following religion because they're obsessed with some specific stock, which is why we're going to talk about Tesla in about 2 minutes. But like, is this a time to actually be like very focused on technical analysis, so at the very least you're not getting caught up in these garbage charts?
I have a request.
Sure.
Can you take 2 Monster Energies before you go buck wild on Tesla, Derrick? I think it's going to enhance the audience experience.
I think I'm going to steal Derrick's thunder today, so watch out. But again, should people just be focused on the charts right now just to avoid getting caught up in the dog crap?
They should always be focused on the charts. That's your fucking job, man. Yes, obviously.
Good.
Sorry.
So the answer, so JR's answer is yes. Thank you, JR.
Do what the chart says to do. Ignore the noise.
Okay, all right. So
Very
let's
simple.
Okay, so I'm going to present my theory on Tesla. So my theory now is Elon Musk is creating a Frankenstein monster out of all these goofy companies to cover up deterioration in the core car business. So we're going to be thinking about robots in space. And I say this as an Elon Musk fan, but I think this might be, I don't know. This actually makes me want to sell my 5 Tesla shares, like at the SpaceX IPO. Derrick, do you agree with me that this is just a whole big, like, I don't know if scam is the right word. We'll call it like bag of bullshit, throwing all these companies together.
Oh man, that's so crazy that you would say that, because I kind of have the opposite take. So look, Tesla's a dog shit company. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's an absolute piece of crap. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. No one wants to drive one of their cars. No one wants to be associated with this guy. I mean, the robots are going to have the same problem. Who's going to buy a Tesla robot when you could buy another company's robot that'll probably be, just as good? The most bullish thing that I could think of that Tesla could do would be to, and this is the bailout from the beginning, by the way, and it's the only way that Elon ever sees a degree of his pay package, is by combining the companies together. SpaceX is a phenomenal company. XAI, I don't really know as much about. I mean, Twitter is kind of a crap company, but the AI at least gets a very high multiple. But SpaceX and Starlink, that's where the value is. It's in SpaceX and Starlink. It's not in Tesla vehicles. It's not in Tesla robots. It's not in Twitter. The only way that you can save this company from, I think, a 90% drop over time is by combining these companies. So that's what he seems to be doing. And to me, I would view that as extremely bullish. But the market so far disagrees with me. When that announcement came out a couple of days ago, first on the earnings report, he said that they're going to buy $2 billion worth of preferred stock in XAI, and then immediately afterwards, they're talking about the tie-up. I was looking at Tesla, and I was like, this thing should be above 460 off this news, and they're not buying it up. They're selling it. Maybe they're selling it because they're preparing for the SpaceX IPO, and they're just building out some cash to be able to buy SpaceX's IPO for the first time. That's a distinct possibility. But I think that the long run bull thesis has to be the combination of these companies. Otherwise, Tesla's worthless.
But he's not merging SpaceX with Tesla. I don't understand what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. It seems.
Yeah. That's what he intends to do.
Oh,
they see this first merger as the first step. Yeah.
Yeah. I doubt it.
Remember the Solar City bailout? It's going to be the same thing, but it's going to be the bailout of Tesla.
He doesn't own enough of Tesla yet, so I don't know that he's going to merge with Tesla just yet.
All right, so everybody listening, do you want Tesla and SpaceX and XAI to be just one big old company? Do people actually think this is a good idea? Let us know in the chat.
Well, he's always been, eager to. He's always predicted Tesla will be bigger than any other company. right? So maybe that's his way of doing it by merging all the companies together.
Yeah, there's also like another thing going on. If all these companies get combined, what happens if there's a Democrat in the White House in 2028? What happens to all these like future SpaceX contracts?
Well, then everybody's in jail for the Epstein files, so we don't got to worry about it.
Oh man. All right. Speaking of the Epstein files, we really need to get into this Bill Gates situation. I'm just kidding.
Can I just say something about the data center thing?
Yeah. All right. JR is a personal friend of Bill Gates, so we're changing the topic. Yes, let's talk about
topics quickly. I was never on the plane.
Let's talk about data centers, JR.
Okay, so Elon Musk is a wacko, but he also knows how to do math. Okay, do you know how much the average 100,000 square foot data center takes to roll out?
No.
Soup to nuts. 3 years. Do you know what the build out cost and just basic build out of the building is in terms of cost per square foot?
It's a lot.
It's $1,100 a square foot. The electrical mechanical systems add another $400 to $800 per square foot of build out. On top of that, you have to manage construction crews in the 1,000+ person over 3 years. And then you have to have 50 to 150 people to keep operating those costs. In terms of recurring costs, do you know what the recurring costs, what percentage of the recurring costs of a data center electrical is?
That air conditioning is not cheap.
It's 60% of the operating cost of a data center. So if you're an overgrown man-child who's a hyper genius and can actually put things in space in containers with robots and slash your cost dramatically and take your build-out cost of a data center from 3 years to a month, why wouldn't you think that's a good idea? You see what I'm saying?
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
Yeah.
This one is actually not crazy. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, like, how fast can data be transmitted back and forth between Earth and space?
The speed of light.
Instantaneously, probably.
But
The speed of light.
But what? Okay. But how much data can be pumped back and forth?
A lot.
All right. It's the bull case is speed of light and a lot. JR,
I mean, we may all it may cause like horrible mutations. We may grow a third eyebrow or something. But yes, the answer is a lot. It depends on how much microwave you're looking to throw at it.
Interesting how JR has very specific numbers for the electric bill and the maintenance and all that and how much it costs per square foot. But the data, all he tells me is a lot, which means JR's theory is suspect from the start.
I'm a computer engineer by trade, dude. I can start to nerd out and put every single participant in this webcast to sleep in about 7 minutes. Don't go there. Okay?
I haven't fallen asleep in days.
Do not challenge me to a discussion on microwave telecommunications. All right? Don't do it.
Okay, all right.
You can stress for a lot.
Okay, all right. Sami, is the market keeping you up at night?
Market is not keeping me up at night, no.
All right, well, I mean, like...
Best answer ever.
No, I mean, I just, you know how you dream about the silliest things? Something happens and you start dreaming about it. It's the only thing I never dream about, trading. Like, literally, I never dream about it, ever. So, and sometimes I'm going through intense periods and times where I'm probably going to be thinking about it all night long. And nope, I never think about it. By the way, did you guys know that Google is reporting today?
Yes.
And Google actually looks probably higher on the daily chart.
Hit it out of the park.
Let me know when you want me to go over some earnings ideas.
Yeah, we will get to that. So, JR, what do you dream about?
Showing up to this webcast with no pants on, usually. My number one nightmare. I don't know.
Do you have?
All right, we're just Sammy
was like, "Oh, are you wearing pants on now?"
Exactly. That's where I was going.
The T3.
Always, sir.
The T3 compliance department requires everyone to wear pants at all times on these events.
At all times. I believe that's in an email, actually. I think I saw.
All right, Derrick, do you ever dream about the market?
I don't really ever remember my dreams, to be honest. Pretty rarely. So yeah, not that I really remember.
All right. Well, that was a what a miserable segment.
It must be the host. Not sure who the host is.
It must be. You have no idea how many complaints I get from the audience. These ungrateful, like I don't even want to say anything about them, but the people here can be so nasty. All right. I feel like this is coming to a head. Let's talk ideas. We do have Google coming tonight, Amazon tomorrow. We'll start with you, Sami, since you
I'm still scanning. Start with somebody else. I'm telling you.
Okay, Derrick. I mean, all right. Yeah, Derrick. Let's start with you. Anything you like or hate up here?
Yeah. So I like a pairs trade right now with a signal here. If these begin to break of XLP short and software names long, IGV could already potentially be long versus lows. CRM. I have some CRM long. Oh man, there's so many. Shopify, I got some Shopify here that I bought. Dare I say I'm long a little bit of Coinbase. That one makes me nervous because crypto is worthless. Microsoft, which is already a little bit relatively strong today, also for a little bit of a bounce back trade. Reddit long on a signal. Spotify long on a signal. What am I missing? Like, you got to go through. Well, also a couple of my favorite ones is symbol S and ESTC. We kind of described it already a little bit. I think that they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I've been using an expression all day, by the way. I have no idea. It's such a weird thing to say. What is baby bathwater? I've been meaning to Google that and see where that expression came from. But with the software stocks in this massive bear market right now, I think that there's some opportunities to pick up good companies. You're seeing like Thoma Bravo come out and saying that they're going to start doing a lot of acquisitions. So the question that I am asking myself is basically what are they going to buy, or what are similar companies going to buy right now into this discount of good companies? And like I think that Sentinel One as an example could be a buyout candidate. So I kind of started to load the boat on that name. It's going to be a bigger picture play for me for sure. And then, XLP, like I said, huge day 4 here to the upside. I'm waiting for these things to break for the technical pullback in there as well. So that's kind of a mean reversion pairs trade that I like. And then beyond that, I'm really, really watching this market. SPY's actually just downticked right now, kind of to the first level that I'm paying attention to. That might indicate to me that we're ready to start to break down. But I really think that the key spot is January lows. There's all types of systematic triggers down there. I think that if we start to break through the January lows, and this could be like the jump ahead point right now, actually on the short side of the break of January lows, but you start to trigger those systematic sellings on the downside here. And I think that we're starting to work our way towards a February, March, 7 to 12% correction, similar to what JR was talking about. But I got to see the whites of their eyes. I got to see that the technicals really begin to break. And it's literally happening right now as I'm talking to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Derrick. Sami, you ready?
I'm ready.
I know. I see Google pulling back to the rising 20, so I know you're excited.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got my chart up. First, here's what I was talking about when it comes to the market. So let me show you the weekly chart of the Qs and the IW and the SPY. So check it out. This is the weekly chart of the SPY. Do you see that we tried to go higher and we ended up with a double top? And now the week is not over. So what if we go right back up? I mean, so it doesn't count, but this is breaking down. This is breaking down. Now, this is not a typical way to top. I mean, this is so rare that you get a casual top like that.
Sorry.
But that's the SPY. That's the Qs. The SPY is similar picture, but not yet, hasn't broken down yet at all. The diamonds is just a completely different animal, but I'm not going to go there because it's only 30 companies. As far as ideas, my favorite idea was the SanDisk short, but I called it last night for today's edition of the newsletter, and it already triggered because I think that should be the forever top. On SanDisk, you can also probably do WDC, but it's late. WDC doesn't look as good. STX actually would have been good under today's low also. MU, but it's too far gone. So all of these likely topped. The leader and the best setup was the SanDisk. So I love that idea short. Do I have any ideas long? Not really. I mean, I have a few ideas, but they don't look that good. I think if you think this is a top in the market, everything is going to end up topping, including gold and silver. I'm pretty sure that's the top in gold and silver. We'll find out, but I'm pretty sure we topped out. And then as far as earnings ideas, here are this is my bullish watch list of plays that I'm watching to play long for tonight. So the ASGN looks okay. This is Williams. Is that Williams Sonoma or is that WMS, the garbage company? No, I don't. It's neither. I think Advanced Drainage something. Maybe it's a garbage company. Anyways, that looks pretty good. TRI TRI is unique because it went climactic, so it might be higher. I'm not really sure. EL. This is my second favorite, and that might be my favorite as a long play. Okay, on earnings. But to tell you the truth, the longs don't look as good. So maybe the bottom two are my favorite longs. The longs don't look as good. If you want some good earnings plays for tonight, I think you got to look at the bearish list. And here it is. So we're going to look at it together and real quick, okay? Won't keep you that long. So here's what we got. We have, so on a multi-bar run up into the declining 20, I like it. That's not bad at all. PTC, I don't love it because it's extended. So let's flag the EMBC so far as the favorite. This one looks pretty good. I like the 20 to be declining already. This is still a rising 20 on the daily, but it's a weekly sell setup, basically. I think it's worth a shot. I'm looking to play it. We'll see how we close, but I'll flag it. That's the ELF. ARM looks good to me, short, so we'll flag. Peloton looks really good. Short, that looks slower. That's a CLFD. Looks good. Luck is extended, so I won't flag it. The TNB is a 1, 2, 3. I'll flag it. That looks amazing, but it's a penny stock. Netgear might be my favorite. I hope it doesn't crash between now and the close because I always look at them at the end of the day, towards the end of the day before sending out the alert. And then the AMSC, those two are probably my favorites. So from the shorts, we have a lot that are pretty good as of right now. We'll see how they set up between now and the close. And then those are the ones that I'm really serious about doing as earnings plays for tonight. All right.
Beautiful. I can't believe Netgear is still a publicly traded company. I haven't heard that name in ages. Okay, JR, it's up to you to close this out strong.
Close out strong. Wow.
Give me, I want your number one idea in the world.
Oh my God, no pressure.
Jeez, bro. Okay, hold on a second. I just want to illustrate what I was trying to say earlier with the indices, especially with the NASDAQ. So you have the dreaded megaphone pattern here with a maximally traded volume here, very, very close to multiple weak highs. So you keep on putting in these weak highs on thin structure. Okay, the auction keeps failing, and your up versus down volume on these pullbacks is exaggerated. It's really indicatory of a distribution top. Your anchored VWAPs off the pivot lows have both failed. Both bands have failed. Your stocks over their, NASDAQ stocks over their 50-day, NASDAQ stocks over their 200-day, they're degrading, and the put call ratios are really showing a whole lot of complacency, very typical of, I don't want to say flash crash, but definitely a more violent correction. The problem, I don't know why Siri is talking to me all of a sudden. The problem with this pattern here, we've been in a pattern that we all assumed was recumulative since October, and you have a tremendous amount of skin in the game in terms of people who have been reaccumulating, buying every dip ahead of what they thought was going to be a breakout, and it looked like right here in January we're going to get that breakout. So you have more and more and more skin in the game with degrading breadth, notably degrading breadth in terms of stocks over the 50-day stocks over the 200-day. Those are all stocks under both of those moving averages are increasing slowly, and so as the market breadth degrades, and we're seeing really worse and worse price action and worse tape in the Max 7s, once those really start to break down further, I think we're going to have a pretty violent couple of days here. You can see the dreaded megaphone pattern here. The fair value is we're breaking below fair value, and everything points to a corrective move here. So how much do I really want to take on in terms of risk on right now is questionable. There are some things that look good. We should have this meeting on Mondays because everything's already triggered by the time we come on. But Pinnacle West Corporation finally triggered our long today here off of a very, very large base. And this one looks like $120, $130. It's a utility. So, make sure to take your caffeine supplements and stay awake. Pepsi was on our watch list on Sunday night. Unfortunately, this one went without me, but you can see how strong these more defensive names are going. And this could even base out and go higher. So I'll still watch it. PSIX is a secondary base here. This needs to base further, but this one I think has room to 110, maybe 120. I can't believe I'm going to bring up Herbalife of all names. But you had a two-wave corrective of a very large accumulative base, so 2-year long base. And I see no reason technically, as I'm watching this, that it can't go to $30 and it's almost double. Gap has a strong buy zone off this minor base here at 29.30. I think that looks good. TSSI was coming out. Yeah, it broke down today, unfortunately. But this TSSI, if it can break this top sign here through 1040, I think has a move to 15.25. So there's still some things in the market that look okay. A lot of the trades that broke out were already in, and they're doing great. But given where the market's at, which looks like the end phase of a failed reaccumulative top, meaning we rallied, we've had a sideways range since October. People have been buying the dips, waiting for the next leg higher in the market, and when that comes tumbling down, I think it's going to be a very, very strong, violent pullback. Which I welcome. I think it's great. This has been a fantastic environment for day traders, and I think it's going to get only better. As far as the software stocks, some things to look at once the market really flushes. CRM, I think, has a potential for a very significant bounce. Snowflake is near a very, very strong support level, and I would have a hard time on my charts. Right, there you go. Snowflake is very, very near a strong, very, very strong level around 132.40. This is completely overdone. Zscaler, for crying out loud! I mean, I can't believe they did this to Zscaler. This area here in Zscaler, around 145, is a no-brainer dip buy right here. 171. It's a no-brainer dip buy, in my opinion. So there's definitely things that I think once the market gives us a good old flush, that are going to catch a strong bid. And I got about 50 of these software names that I think are totally unfairly beaten down, that I think are going to have a really, really strong bounce. I mean, look at AP. Was it not Digital Turbine, ABP? I mean, this was obviously overdone to the upside, but I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous. So
I don't think we're gonna have a strong bounce, JR, because why?
After a 10 to 12% correction, I think we will.
I think any bounce will get sold. The reason being, if this ends up being the top, any bounce will get sold, because This top, unlike most other tops, is going to catch people off guard. If it's catching, I mean, if we're having a hard time,
Sure. That's why I said the put call ratios are all wrong in this market.
That's why
we're
it's
like
not
the Titanic
it's not
about to hit an
fine.
iceberg, and we have total complacency. I agree with you.
That's why
But-
I think we're not going to actually get bought, because people will already still be in the market long. If we got a really clean top and a good heads up, people will get out and then we'll get back in on a pullback. But since this is a very hard to tell that this is the top, if we actually end up topping out, I think it's going to be a big drop. That's
I
what
don't
I
think institutions are going to make the same mistake they made last time, where they missed the entire April move higher and basically looked horrible in front of their investors, lost a ton of money, and bypassed a super strong buying opportunity. I don't think that's going to happen again. I don't think they're going to.
I would say one step at a time. Off JR's point, watch closely if they start piling into protective puts, because that'll be the ammunition that'll create this negative gamma slide on the downside and waterfall effect on the downside. So that's some of the stuff I'm looking in conjunction with really, again, that break of January lows, and I think forget about it.
This market has too many late money longs. It needs to correct for the sake of all that is holy. We need to have a 10 to 12% correction and bring in a new generation of early money longs and build a new rally and continue the bull trend. But until that happens, man, it's going to be very difficult for this market to continue higher.
So does everybody agree? Our market's in turmoil.
No. Stop.
JR, I don't know what you're saying. 1 second it is, the next second it's not.
Okay, all right. So everybody's
The
gonna
market's not in turmoil. We're getting ready for
All
a
right.
10% pullback. That's not turmoil, dude.
I think what
December of
JR
2008 was turmoil, okay? People
You
thinking
sound like
that
a
the banks
professor.
were going to crash is turmoil. What?
You sound like you would make a really good professor.
I think that the idea is kind of
Turmoil
down.
is when people think the world is about to end. A 10% correction in the market means an aggressive pullback. That's it. That's nothing to freak out about, especially if you're a professional. Come on, you know this. Are we going to have a pullback? Yes, I think so. I don't think that is that we're not in turmoil now.
It's
we in
not a
turmoil
pullback
now?
when you have a huge top and then a crash below the top, and break.
So
break
Sammy,
it up.
what
It's
do
a
you-
10
what do
to
you-
12% correction. I mean,
What do you
like,
think
we
is
see
the
this once a year,
Sammy,
dude.
Are you
What?
looking for like a 30% pullback here?
Okay, that's a good question. I'm not looking for a 30% drop, but what I'm saying is we're not going to get that big rebound that most people would expect after a pullback, because this top is going to catch people off guard. They're not going to, by the time they realize it's the top, it's going to already, we will have already dropped.
Do you think
10,
we're in turmoil now, Sammy?
No, we're not, but that's my
Right,
point.
that's what I'm saying. Do you think we're going to be in turmoil if we have a 10 to 12% correction? You really call that turmoil?
To be fair,
I think you guys are saying the same thing, honestly, in different language.
Yeah,
be
let's-
totally
hold
honest.
on, and
You're both looking for the initial down move here, and then
Yeah.
when we're down 10% and we're really extended to the downside, then we'll be having a look at, all right, is there a capitulation trade coming in after a 10% move where we should have our discount hats on to be looking to buy up some things of relative strength or something like that. It's kind of one step at a time, but it seems like we're all looking for lower in the most immediate term here as we get into this next month ahead. If some of these support levels start to break, especially with these Qs down 2.5% right now as we're having this conversation.
I think Sammy, what you're saying is you don't count on any kind of market bounce potentially if we get a 10 to 12% pullback.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
I count exactly. I count on this being more sustainable.
Then we're going to be in turmoil.
I count on this being more sustainable to the downside if this ends up being the top, because it's not a sure thing. But if this ends up being the top, I think we're in for a long
Dude,
decline.
As long as the markets are moving, honestly, that's all I ask for.
All right.
I'm going to have to be very careful in using the word turmoil from now on, because nobody knows what it means. Because on TV, the market goes down 4%, and that's markets in turmoil. Okay, I hope everybody had fun today. This is my favorite show of the year. Thank you to everybody for joining us. And I don't know what else to say. Good luck out there.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Great talk.